Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemiah Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles of great milestone and do rule well. Salutation to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. It is a brother Marcus out here in Trinidad. I just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. And the name of this lesson would be The Greater Thou Art, the More Humble Thyself. Alright, and it comes from this precept here in Ecclesiasticus chapter 3. I'll get straight into it. It says, "My son, go on with thy business in meekness." All right, scripture says, "The meek shall inherit the earth." It says, "Go on with thy business in meekness, so shall thou be beloved of him that is approved." All right, so you could be beloved of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, because the Lord hated the proud. All right, it says, "The greater thou art, the more humble thyself." So and when you look at the growth of a child, right? When you look at the growth of a child from the moment that child turns toddler age, all right, basically that is when learning basically kickstarts. It has a high learning, bracket around the toddler age. So it's like they're inquisitive, they're learning about themselves, they're learning the surrounding, they're learning about the emotions. And that is usually the time when a child will have the most tantrum. So therefore, that is when the parents would intervene now and basically, as we say here, teach the child some brought up see. All right. But moving on from that age, selfishness would kick in, pride will kick in. You'll see going into adolescent age, like even though they show you on TVs, men or young women, they will be assholes, they will be jerks to one another, wherever the case is. They'll be very prideful, they will talk down to others. But as they grow into adulthood, you'd realize that things will change about them. They will start to be more humble. They will start to understand life more. Even going on to, old age. The more you grow into life, the more humble you get. Because let's say this guy probably was a bully, probably was a gangster in his younger days. And when he gets older, when he gets wiser, usually what he does, he becomes more humble, and he will tell the ones that are younger than him, like, no, that is not the life to live, peaceful, be at peace with all men, stuff like that. So the more you progress in age, the more humble you get. And the more we progress in this truth, the more humble we're supposed to get. We're not supposed to be more and more puffed up. Now, guess what? We don't have 50, 60 years to get humble in this truth. All right. So it's like every year that passes in the truth is like 5 years for us. That is how fast we have to grow in this truth. The scripture say grow in grace. We have to grow quickly because the day is at hand. All right. You don't want Yahweh Shai to come and meet us trying to get this thing down pack. We have to have this thing down pack. All right. The Lord giving us ample time to perfect ourselves enough, because our righteousness is as filthy rags. He given us ample time to perfect ourselves enough so that we will be considered for salvation. All right. Now, on the topic of salvation, yes, the elect will be saved. The elect is the elect. There's nothing you can do to be an elect, and there's nothing you can do to not be an elect. They were already chosen. It was already preordained. The elect will do the will of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. They will do it righteously. They will do righteousness righteously to be saved. All right. The scripture said, "Many are called, few are chosen." You throw in the net, you pull bad and good. So there are men who that would come in the truth that are on the bad side, and the ones that will be saved are on the good side. So yes, you will be called to this, but not necessarily be chosen. That is why we have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. All right. And that is the basis of the lesson, because being in this truth, we still in this flesh. We still in captivity. We are not yet saved. We are not yet crowned. All right? And sometimes we let being in the truth put this mindset on us that everyone else around us is beneath us. We would look at people in the world as beneath us. Even sometimes brothers in the faith, we look at them as beneath us, like you know at my level, you stand by your side. I'm more holier than thou. And we're not supposed to have that mentality, because guess what? We don't know who is who. The scripture says, lest ye offend one of these little ones. All right. So it says what? It says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Many are in high place. Yes, many are in high place. You have titles and whatnot. It says, and are renowned, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. So you can't do nothing to get this true. You can't do nothing to force yourself to understand this word. It have to be given from Yahweh Shemi Shai, and it only gonna be given to the meek, to the humble. All right. So we have to be humble in this truth. All right, in the truth of Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right. This is Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Yahweh Shemi Shai for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have the zeal of Yahweh, but not according to knowledge. So we have the zeal of Yahweh Shemi Shai. We go out, thus said the Lord, Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right? Esau is the devil. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, chosen people, the MOTB. All right? Concentration camps, martial law. Yes, we have the zeal of Yahweh Shemi Shai, but sometimes not according to knowledge. All right? Sometimes not according to knowledge, because the knowledge of Yahweh Shemi Shai does not teach us to be proud to anyone, not even people in the world. All right? Especially brothers in the faith, not to be proud against brothers in the faith, looking down on brothers. All right? We could say that we're not proud. We could say that we're not looking down on others. But guess what? You shall know them by their fruits. And your fruits don't necessarily mean the men that you brought into the camp. Your fruits could be your actions. Your words are also your fruits. So you might say one thing, but your action says otherwise. All right? It says, for they being ignorant of Yahweh Shemi Shai's righteousness, and go about to establish their own righteousness. All right? You acting as though you already on the chariots. You already have a crown on your head. That is not by the righteousness of Yahweh Shemi Shai, because everybody laboring still for that one penny. Everybody laboring still to enter into that rest. And we still hoping that we will be saved. None of us here knows if we're going to be saved or not. We are hoping. So stop acting like we already in the kingdom. Stop acting like it. We have to fear, because we're not sure. Stop acting like the pride. The pride. Guess what? Pride is hateful before the Most High and men. You have to remember this. All right? It says, for they being ignorant of Yahweh Shemi Shai's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Yahweh Shemi Shai, which is true meekness, which is true faith in Yahweh Shai. It says, for Mashiach is the end of the law of righteousness to everyone that believeth. So the Romans, because when you read lower down, it says there is neither circumcision nor Greek, roughly paraphrasing, right? So the Romans, the Jews, they were looking down at everybody else, because why? Because yeah, we circumcised, and you the uncircumcised. So yeah, we better than you. All right? Nah, even in these last days, all right, it's still the same thing. It might not be the same exact, format, or the same, because we keeping the laws, we better than you. It might not be that same thing, but guess what? I have more knowledge than you. I have a higher position than you. All right? I in this camp, you in that camp. Because even the apostles will say, guess what? There could be elect amongst the other camps, among IUIC, among GOCC. All right? There could be potential elect. So therefore, it's not for any of us to puff ourselves up and say, well, because I in GMS, I'm better than you, or because I have this much years in the truth, or because I have this position. Nah, we have to be humble. We have to be humble. It all boils down to humility. The Lord is who lifts it up, and the Lord Yahweh Shemiyah Shai is who casts it down. We have to remember this. That is why we have to be fearful. All right, we have to be fearful. All right. It says 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, and these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another. So we're not supposed to be puffed up against one another. We're not supposed to be looking down on one another. Guess what? We don't know if you're going to be saved. We don't know if I'm going to be saved. We don't know who's going to be saved. We could assume because of the works they put in, we can say, hey, you know what? They are the apostles, the elders, they're on their way there. All right, but at the end of the day, the final word is Yahweh Shemiyah Shai. That is why the apostles will say they hope that they be saved, even them, and that is humility. Paul said it. There is a crown laid up for me. I've kept the faith. I've fought the fight. Now, henceforth, there is a crown laid up for me. Look at the apostles. They've been laboring for decades. They could safely say a crown is laid up for me, but yet they choose to be humble. Yet they choose to say hope and not act like, yeah, I'm already in the chariot. Take the examples from the apostles. Take the apostles, example. That is what we're supposed to do. Take the example from them. All right. This is Philippians 3 and verse 11. It says, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead, not as though I had already attained. So we want to have that resurrection from the dead, which is what? Salvation, everlasting life. And Paul said, not as though I had already attained, because we have not yet. We're still in this flesh. Either were already perfect. We not perfected yet. But I follow after, if that I may apprehend, to hold on to that for which also I am apprehended. We are the bondmen of the Lord Yahweh Shemiyah Shai. All right, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended. Stop. Don't think of yourself that way. Don't have that mindset. As I said, you could say with your words that you do not do something, or you're not thinking something, but your actions says otherwise. All right, that is why the scripture said the Lord looketh at the hearts. All right, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. It says, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of Yahweh in Yahweh Shai Mashiach. All right, so he says he pressed towards the mark. Let's look up that word. He said he press. It says what? To make, to run or flee, put to flight, drive away, to run swiftly. So you run swiftly towards the mark. Why? Because we didn't make it yet. We're not there yet. In order to catch a person or thing, to run after, to press on, figuratively, of one who is in a race, run swiftly to reach the goal, to pursue in a hostile manner. It says, in any way whatsoever, to harass, trouble, molest one. It says to persecute, be mistreated, because even in the truth we're going to be mistreated. Suffer persecution on the account of something. And this is part of being in the truth. Why are we suffering? If we suffering, why are we proud? Why are we proud if we're being afflicted? We glory in affliction, but it's not, yeah, I'm catching more affliction than you, so I'm part of the elect. Not, nah. Affliction there to humble us, not to puff us up. All right, not because you catching hell more than somebody else means that you any better. The one that came in at the first hour, the one that came in at the 99th hour, same penny. All right? Without the idea of hostility, to run after, follow after someone. Metaphor, to pursue, to seek, eagerly, earnestly endeavor to acquire. So that is what Paul was doing. He running swiftly, eagerly to acquire. All right? The mark, he says, I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of Yahweh in Yahushua Mashiach. It says, let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus-minded. And the thus-minded is to be humble. And if in anything ye be otherwise minded, Yahweh Shai shall reveal even this unto you. So the Lord will reveal it unto you. Like, nah, you know what? Let me take it down a bit. Let me take it down a notch. I'm being proud. I'm being arrogant as fuck. Which you're not supposed to be. Why? Why are we like this? All right? Stop looking down on others. Stop looking at others like, you know, you looking, when I say looking down, you going up in the chariots and they on the ground can't come up. We don't know if we're going to make it. We hoping, just like everybody else, we hoping. All right? Humility goes a long way. All right? Humility goes a long way. This is Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 13. It says, when I shall say unto the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered, but for his iniquity that he had committed, he shall die for it. All right? So the righteous say, the Lord saying, hey, you're righteous, you're going to live. But you trusting in your own righteousness. So let's go to that. Let's go to that. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 33. All right? And verse 13. So I just want to go to compare translation. And NLT says, when I tell the righteous people that they will live, but then they sin, expecting, this is it, but then they sin, expecting their past righteousness to save them. So you trusting in your own self. You saying, yeah, I'm righteous. I keeping this laws, paying the most tithes, doing the most videos, doing the most works. Yeah, you know, I good. Me and the Lord is buddies. We buddies. All right? You overthinking this thing and underestimating the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai with your pride, because your pride clouding your judgment. You trusting in your own righteousness, thinking that you could do whatever you want because you did this or you did that. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai is your friend, so you all good, you all clear. Stop trusting in your own righteousness. We all, let us therefore fear. Let me read that real quick. This is the book of Hebrews 4 and verse 1. It says, let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. Fear, not pride, fear. Right? So, I want to go back to Ezekiel 33 and trust. The meaning of trust, it says to trust in, to have confidence, be confident, be bold, to be secure. You thinking you so secure, all right? To cause to trust, to make secure, to feel safe, be careless. So you start to become careless because you say, yeah, all this year I put in, all this knowledge I have, yeah, me and the Lord good. The Lord gonna save me for sure, so I could do whatever. And you start to overlook things. You start to overlook things. You start to act wicked and not realizing. You get more proud and not realizing, because why? Your own iniquity start to cloud your judgment. Your own pride start to cloud your judgment. So now you're not realizing that thou art blind and wretched and naked. Don't let pride cloud your judgment. Don't let pride cloud your better judgment. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a sure way to destruction. That is a sure way to destruction. All right, going back to Philippians, this is Philippians chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, for we are the circumcision which worship Yahweh Hashem Yahshua in spirit. Because we fear, we had our faith, and we're living in hope. All right, and rejoice in Yahweh Hashem Mashiach, and have no confidence in the flesh. Yeah, I'm doing the most works, doing the most lessons, I'm doing the most this, giving the most tithe. Nah. I keeping all the laws. I keeping the Sabbath every week. That is not it. But then, you do all those things, but then, you overlooking simpler things. You're not being kind to brothers. Because why? Because of your pride. All right, you start committing iniquity, but because you believe you and the Lord body, because pay the most tithes, doing the most lessons, doing the most of everything else except the righteousness that is in Yahweh Shai, you believe you're safe. But guess what? You're in for a big surprise. All right, it says, though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any man, so Paul say, yeah, I have confidence in the flesh. Because I have confidence that I'm doing the will, doing the work. By the end of the day, it's about the righteousness of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, not my own righteousness. Don't trust in your own righteousness. All right? Lord said, Ezekiel 33 and 13. It says, though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more. Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee. Concerning zeal, all right? Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless. It says, but what things were gained to me, those things I counted loss for Mashiach, yea, doubtless. And I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I might win Mashiach. All right, you might say, yeah, I have more money, I have this, I have possession, I have that. Nah, Paul say, that is nothing. That is nothing. All right, it says, and be found in him, and to be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through faith of Mashiach. So, you're doing the most works, you're doing the most videos, you're paying the most tithes. Might help this brother, might help that brother. You're doing all that. But then guess what? Do you have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? When tribulation arise because of the word, will you be bound by offended, or will you stand strong? Are you rooted and grounded? It says, but that which is true faith, the righteousness of Mashiach, the righteousness which is of Yahweh by faith. All right, that is the righteousness we're supposed to have. That is the righteousness we're supposed to trust in. Trust in the fact that Yahweh Hashem Yahshua promised, and we believe that he will deliver. So therefore, we have faith in that. We have confidence in that. We have confidence in the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. Because you have confidence in the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, you prepare yourself so that the Lord will deliver in that day. But he only gonna deliver if your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the Pharisees. All right, that is the only how. This is the final precept here. This is the book of Mark 10 and 42, it says, But Yahushua called them to him and said unto them, Ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. But so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever shall be the chiefest shall be servant of all. Not, I'm the highest position. Then don't do this. Shut up. Go here. Nah, that is not what it's about. You're supposed to feed the flock. Humble yourself and teach the flock. As the scripture says, teach not your wife an evil lesson against you. Then don't teach the younger men evil lessons against you. All right? Teach them good lessons. Lead them in good pastors. All right? It says, But whosoever shall be the chiefest shall be servant of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. So you saying you better than Yahushua if you just want to sit on a throne. All right? And look down on others. It says, and to give his life as a ransom for many. All right? That is what the Lord Yahushua came to do. To minister unto. Not to be ministered, but to minister unto. Thy king cometh lowly. Just remember that. It all boils down to humility. Relinquish pride and hold fast unto humility. All right. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahushua Shai. I want to give double honor to the apostles of great millstone do rule well. Salutation to the men of the whole land saying, say elect. This is your brother Marcus out here in Trinidad saying shalom and stay strong. Shalom.